Oh no! Oh no! I fucking love Godzilla. Recently, I went back and bought the rest of the set, except for that one. I'm not getting another fucking Godzilla just because this one has ears like a weirdo. It's not. But what I will get is another Mecha Godzilla, because this guy, his arm isn't loose. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not as loose as last time. I wasted $20 on this. Alright, before I get into the actual review, red elephant in the room. It's red elephant. That's not the saying, is it, you fucking idiot? These are starting to get a little pricey. I mean, $20 for just this? $20? You know what you can get for $20? This fucker. He's bigger. He has more articulation, he has better sculpting, and he transforms. Why does this guy need to be $20? I know it's probably for some, like, that's what they used to cost, the old Kenner toys, but, like, I don't think the Black Series 3 3/4 inch vintage collection stuff was that much. Was it? And even if it was, we're far beyond those old Kenner toys. I mean, goodness gracious, you can still get, like, the old Kenner Power of the Force 2 stuff for $5 on the card. What is this? I mean, I think the real issue is just Super7 loves to overprice their shit. Like, if you want to get the spiritual successor to the Action Masters, which is the Transformers they make, you have to pay $60 when you can pay $20 for the RED figures. Now, granted, those aren't very good, so I can kind of see that one. But $60? Now, if it was a situation like the next 17, where it's like, okay, those are like an indie group who are actually making molds for the new toys, and they're only making a couple of them, so they have to make them a bit more expensive. That's one thing. Super7, get your head out of your ass. This is the... Would you pay $20 for that? Honestly. But you know what? Let's just review these 3 figures, and then I can spend over $100 on the next wave. It'll probably be better than this one. We're gonna start off with good old Mothra. Who doesn't like Mothra? Oh yeah, me! I'm sorry, but how is this a main character? I've probably already said this, but you have Godzilla, big old dinosaur. He's like a T-Rex mixed with a Stegosaurus. Rodan, another dinosaur. He's a pterodactyl motherfucker. King Ghidorah, he is his arch rival. He's a 3-headed dragon. 3-headed! And then you have this guy. He's just robot Godzilla. So he's a robot T-Rex mixed with the robot Syrachosaurus. And then for the 5th member, it's Mothra. It's just a fucking moth. How exciting is that? I mean, people complain about fucking Ibira being a big old lobster. That's a cool animal. Have you seen lobsters? You probably haven't.
We did.
You also have, like, fucking Kamakura's Kumongo is just giant scary bugs. Ah, those guys suck. But Mothra, a big old butterfly. Not even a butterfly, a moth. A fucking moth. Those things are not scary. Unless you're me. Seriously, when Pokemon made Volcarona, which is basically a Pokemon Mothra, it was actually a better kaiju than Mothra. I mean, Volcarona actually has a cool design. Now, granted, I think a lot of the backstory and history of its design is kind of bullshit because it doesn't translate to the design, but you know what? It's still good. Mothra's just a fucking moth. So let's just talk about how this figure is. It's a pretty decent representation of Mothra. The detailing's really nice. I mean, it doesn't really look like the Mothra it's supposed to be, which is this one, but that's fine. I'm fine with a generalist Mothra that I can just have as a Mothra and not get another fucking one, because if they do, I'm not reviewing that, because this isn't my job. So all that is pretty good. The sculpting's great, but man, oh man, why is she so tiny? Look at this. Was she this tiny? I feel like she should be like that. Like, that is more how I feel with Mothra. I don't even know if... Is this accurate? Also, if it's accurate, I don't care. Like, in the good old Kenner days, Princess Leia was a fucking short ass, okay? but she was still the same height as Luke Skywalker. Bump that shit up. Now, granted, yes, her wings, very tall, but I mean, still, that's no excuse. I mean, Rodan's longer, and he's also pretty tall. I mean, he's not the tallest, but hey, I think that's all right. Godzilla deserves to be the tallest anyways. But, like, just make her, like, that. There you go. And unlike this guy who's got big old wings, these are fucking floppy. This is floppy. You know what? Perfect opportunity. Let's just go over articulation. Head. Okay, nice. Wings. That little amount of articulation. That's it. And that's all you do. It's just, it vaguely looks like Mothra. And it's tiny. $20. Oh, but wait a minute. I'm not being fair. This isn't the whole set. Let's complete it. Ow, that fucking hurt. I cut myself. Fuck. That. Would you pay $10? $10? $5? This ain't worth a buck. It's just an egg. Why is it just an egg? You're telling me you can't give Mothra some larva like Minimates did? It's like, oh, you have one Mothra, and then you have the larva forms. You have two of them. Well, fuck it, we'll give two. That's why Minimates are mini great. That was fucking corny as hell. Also, my finger's bleeding. Oh, but this, tiny ass, egg. That's it. I paid $20 for this. But I mean, was it worth it? Woo! It's spinning, keeps spinning. Oh man, that's really cool. This isn't a bad figure really, but this is an absolute scam. I already think these figures are overpriced. They should be $10 max. But if you're gonna pay $20, can you at least make them big and meaty like this guy? I mean, this guy is high quality. I'm fucking bleeding now because of this guy. But like, with this, I could probably throw this at a fucking toddler and he'd be fine. As far as the figure itself goes, it's not bad. But when you price everything into the equation, no pun intended. Yeah, fuck it, pun intended. Alright, get the fuck out of here, Mothra. Let's talk about Rodan. Now, this is my younger brother's favorite kaiju. I don't know why. And I gotta admit, it's pretty good. It actually represents the old Rodan. Doesn't change the fact that old Rodan was stupid. But you know what? Good job on that. Good job. And, despite also having giant wings, these things are fucking heavy. They are massive. Like, look at how thick they are. You can't really tell you how thick it really is. You have to experience it for yourself, but I don't know if you want to. The texturing otherwise is pretty, like, simple. I mean, okay, he's got the spikes here. That could probably hurt, maybe. But, I mean, otherwise, he's just kind of basic. But, again, these are supposed to be the old Kenner Star Wars original line style figures, so, yeah, not bad. I mean, when you compare him to, like, the other figures, which just look like the characters, it's a little bit out of place, but actually not really. The one problem I do have with this guy is the orange. I don't think that was orange. And if it was, it's a little bit distracting. Like, it probably should be more along the lines of this color all over. Not really digging the orange. In terms of articulation, it's pretty much simple. Legs, I don't know why they all have to go out like this when fucking Jet Jaguar has the correct T joint that, you know, the original Star Wars figures had. It would be fine. I mean, okay, these two are understandable, but like that one, but I've already talked about that. Just ignore it. So yeah, he's got that. And unfortunately, technically, it does have 5 points of articulation, but it's just very minimal. Now, I don't know if it's because I got unlucky again and the joints are loose, but like, or if it's just the fact that these are very heavy, but they just kind of waggle all over the place. And, well, I mean, it's fine, but I guess you can get some play value out of it. But otherwise, it's just kind of annoying. It also throws off the center weight of the figure, because if they go like that, he falls over. So you gotta keep that in mind. Rodan's pretty good, though, I'd have to say. Unfortunately, I do think I'm probably gonna have to get another Rodan when they make it, because this one's kind of goofy. But I think it works. And finally, we have Jet Jaguar. Why is he in the first wave? I don't Now, the place that I got all of these didn't have that. I had to go online to get it, and it was $22 instead of $20, so fun. But you know what? I don't mind paying an extra $2. I lie. I do mind a little bit. But you know what? If I had to pay a little extra for one, I'd be fine with this one. The paint applications and all over the place is really good with the reds, the yellows, the blues, and especially the silver. Now, if you haven't picked this thing up in a while, this actually kind of tricks you because it's all cold and you pick it up. I'm like, oh, is this made out of die cast? No, it's just silver plastic. Paint. But it is still really nice. I don't know why his eyes are blue. But this is what I'm saying. Why has he got all this silver on him, but he's just flat gray? These probably should be the same color, you know? I don't know. And you can't even give the excuse of, oh, maybe they just didn't want to make them silver. Mr. T, the world revolves around you. They just wanted to make him gray. That's bullshit, because in the very unnecessary Mechagodzilla hybrid figure they're making for the next wave, he's silver. Or at least the parts that are showing, they're silver. So, why? Maybe so they can sell a proper silver one to us later. But back to this figure. I think it's a really good representation of Jet Jaguar, and it actually feels like a proper Kenner figure. Now, granted, he is very humanoid, and you have something like this. It's like, well, of course, it's going to take a little bit of liberties. It still feels like a Kenner figure. That's the point. But I do appreciate that at least one of the figures does have the genuine feel. I think this strikes the perfect balance of old school Kenner feel and still represents the character very well. Other than the blue eyes, I have no fucking clue why those are blue. He has pretty much the same articulation you would expect from any Kenner type figure, except now he actually has proper legs. I'd say out of the group, Jet Jaguar is the best, but again, don't know why he was in wave 1. You have the rest of them, and those are like the iconic dudes, but like the next wave has stuff like King Ghidorah and Gigan. Those are the dudes you'd expect to be in the first wave. Okay, maybe King Ghidorah mostly. But fucking Anguirus still hasn't... Is he gonna be in wave 3? Well, I don't know. Wait, is he? Is he? But no, let's have Jet Jaguar. Okay, you probably could make the argument, well, back in the day, Jet Jaguar was the contest winner, so they had to make a figure of him. So that's why he's in. But I don't know about that. But I mean, otherwise, great figure. I think it's the best in the wave. Man, the main 5 looking a little different nowadays. So that was pretty much, and I say pretty much because there's another Godzilla. I'm not gonna fucking bother. That was pretty much the first wave of Godzilla Super 7 old school Kenner style figures, whatever it's called. I like it, but it's a bit of a steepy price. I mean, all of this was around $100.
Whoa.
$100 for this. Would you... I could get both waves, both mini-mate waves of Godzilla, first 2 waves, for that price. So I don't know if I'd recommend... I mean, if you're a Godzilla fan, you don't want to get the SH figure arts or the monster arts, technically. You can't afford that, or like the Rebel Tech stuff that looked amazing. You can't get any of that. You're willing to pay like average price for a Godzilla set. I think this is still pretty good to have. I don't know about that Mothra, though. That one's just kind of... Still, could be worse. You could buy those shitty Godzilla egg toys.